can see, I've biked here in the snow on very non-winter tires to get to this beautiful location right here. And today I want to talk about a metaphor that we can find in James. James chapter 1 verses 4 to 6. And it goes like this. A bit in the mouth of a horse controls the whole horse. A small rudder on a huge ship in the hands of a skilled captain sets a course in the face of the strongest winds. A word out of your mouth may seem of no account, but it can accomplish nearly anything, or destroy it. It only takes a spark, remember, to set off a forest fire. A careless or wrongly placed word out of your mouth can do that. By our speech, you can ruin the world, turn harmony to chaos, throw mud on our reputation, send the whole world up in smoke, and go up in smoke with it. Smoke right from the pit of hell. And the important thing about the metaphors is they show how small, little, insignificant things have such a big, massive influence and power, like the rudders on ships and the bits on horses. This means that the vessel is not actually steered by its hull, and a horse is not steered by its huge muscles. Well, yeah, you need the muscles to go places, but there is something there telling the horse where to go, which is the bit. This same effect can be seen on the tongue, which in comparison to the rest of the body, it's quite small. Like compared to your bicep or your big thighs, the tongue is so small. And you could never really think that this thing would be the most important muscle in your body.
Huh? Are you sure about that?
I mean, the tongue is basically your most influential part of your body. It's the part that you can express with. It is able to have an influence on other people that no other body part can have. However, with great power comes great responsibility. And you have to make sure that this power is not misused. For example, in an interview, the interviewee must convey through his mouth to the interviewer that he or she is qualified for the job and nothing else. Having an interview without being able to talk, or write for that matter, is as hard as trying to start a fire using your mind, or trying to move an object using the force.
Nope.
It doesn't work. You can still be influential and, express your feelings even if you're mute, but it's just harder that way. Of course, the tongue isn't exactly the only way to influence other people, but it is the main way. James uses these metaphors and uses the tongue as a metaphor because it is probably the most known way to influence other people. Yes, there's typing, yes, there's writing, yes, there's sign language, but it is the most universal way to influence other people. And by influence, it doesn't usually mean good or bad. It's your decision to make. And that's why the tongue is such a powerful tool that can go either in the hands of the good or the bad. A good metaphor for this today, we don't have horses around here, and we don't really have a ship, in good old damn Blanc, Alberta. But what I have here today is a bike. Now, if you take a look at this thing, I love my bike so much, right? But it's not really, what's the word for this? It's not a car. And in the grand scheme of things, it's not the prettiest thing you've ever seen. But this bike can do something that no other person can do. Go fast. Go fast and go long distances. That's what a bike can do. It's able to achieve great power. Go fast. I love that. I love going fast. I'm a biker guy, But this is great power. And of course, like I said before, great power, great responsibility. When I'm on my bike, especially on this let's just call it unideal weather, you just have to make sure that you don't slip and crack your head on the ground. Make sure you're not a danger to other people. Even though you have the power to go long distances, you also have to make sure that your bike is not a danger to people around you, yourself, because it's a machine basically. And you still have to be safe on a bike like this. There's a big drop down there and a big slope as well. And if I went down there on my bike, I have to be really careful so that I don't fall over the railing and, you know, go down into the river. Now, in terms of dangerousness, very much so. I'm so stupid for doing this, not gonna lie. Oh yeah. So that is quite the drop, not gonna lie. Especially in these weather conditions, if I bike down this slope at any kind of speed, especially with all this ice on the ground, I could just like fall down this, like off this fence and, you know, never be seen again and fall into the river. So this is all going towards the metaphor that bikes are powerful tools. They can help you, but they can also end your life. And yeah, I can speak the most about this because I've been down this stretch of sidewalk really fast multiple times, and I know that if there's one instance where I don't hit my brake or something just happens and I don't turn, I can just go off that side of this like fence right here. So yeah, big power, big responsibility. And your tongue is the same thing, believe it or not. Your tongue can be a more powerful tool than even a bike, because you can do powerful things with the tongue, make great speeches, say brilliant things, but at the same time you can say things that are really hurtful and could just deal massive damage to everyone around you. That's the big thing about this. Tongue is important. It is not just a small muscle in your mouth. It is probably the most powerful thing you have in terms of not physically, but mentally. So what does this metaphor represent in terms of like godly attributes? There are plenty that can be seen in, James chapter 3, 13 to 18. And the power and the influence of the tongue cannot be accurately and directly linked to any of these attributes, However, I think that is because the only way to express those attributes is through the mouth. Of course, like, you can be mute, of course, like I said before, and still be influential. But the best way to make use of your tongue, to make use of the words you say, is to include all of these godly attributes that we can see in that verse. Talking in any other way is just the recipe for disaster. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna get back to biking. As you can see, it's very cold and dark and slippery on the sidewalk. But yeah, that's it. Hope you have a good day.